How are y'all doing this evening? This is Soul Sister Therapy Childhood Trauma Podcast, and I am your host, Plum Queen. Go ahead, ladies.
I'm Taquita, Scorpio sun.
Peace. I'm Goddess Misha.
All right, all right, all right. Well, this is part two. Part two. Goddess Misha came up with an awesome and very deep topic. We're talking about how your childhood traumas affect your sexual desires, your sexual habits, everything that got to do with sex life. So we're gonna get back into part two. We was talking about our experiences a little bit. I may pop up with something I said last week to, I guess, reinforce, my point of view. But we're gonna take it to Goddess Misha because this is her topic. So I know she has some points that she wanted to put on out there. So yeah, girl, take the flight.
Peace. So, basically, I just wanted to touch more on the different ways that your childhood traumas can actually manifest and come out into your reality as an adult when it comes to your sexual desires, your sexual likes and dislikes, the things you're comfortable with, the things you're not comfortable with, whether it be actions from your partner or yourself. And so, basically, I had, and this has to do with sexual, but it doesn't have to do with sexual. These the ways that your childhood traumas come out and manifest in your life. As far as your physical body, sometimes you don't discover those because of being sexually active. It's other things like dancing or the way that you use your voice that will have you realizing that you're kind of suppressing things because of stuff that could have happened during your childhood. And so recently I started a new passion called stepping. And basically, what stepping is, it's a dance. It's an 8 count dance, and it's very regal and classy looking, which is what I've fallen in love with. But also, the community is great. Um, and me being a 5'10" woman, I have a big body, and so this week I've learned through stepping that I don't take up a lot of space. Like I guess as a little girl, because of the being raised in a domestic violent home and then the sexual abuse, I kindly taught myself to make small movements and to keep myself out of the way, basically. And so even when I dance, like even though I have all of this body, I like make very small movements, and I am very conservative with my my space that I take up, I guess. And so I'm working on that now because I deserve to take up just as much space on the dance floor as anybody else. And so releasing that energy in my body that's keeping me stiff, especially in my hips. And I believe that my hips stay so tight because of the energy that childhood and that healing energy that needs to be released. And so I think that it's released, but then I go dance and my hips don't move as open and vibrant as they should, and I'm like, why are my hips still tight? Why is my pelvis area still holding a lot of slow energy? And that has to do with just having to um, do the energy healing work and the releasing work of that sexual trauma that I dealt with as a little girl for so many years. And so just making a conscious and intentional thought about the way that our day-to-day actions are affected because of our childhood trauma is very important. We don't make the connection a lot of time. We don't take the time to stop and think, I know that I'm uncomfortable in this situation, but why am I uncomfortable? Why am I uncomfortable being butt naked? What about it about being that free and open makes me uncomfortable?
Mhm.
Even, and it's not even in front of another person. A lot of people just, some people are they um like, I think it was you, Quita, you were saying like you don't sleep naked, like you just, that's not what you do,
I was about to say,
and so far it's like,
I was about to speak to that.
yeah, so it's like those are things, that those programmings came from somewhere. And
Mhm.
it's important to figure out if it was because of a positive influence or a negative thing that happened. And if it was a negative thing, then how do I release myself of that? because it doesn't matter if you like to sleep naked or not, but it's the the bigger picture of why is it that you do or don't, you know? It's just the why, and making sure that why carries as much light and pure energy compared to low energy, you know?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
um,
I was actually going to speak to that because I was when you were saying that I was thinking about what Tamra had said to me last week. So I know y'all probably don't know, audience watching, but after we taped, um, we were just talking about just random stuff like we always do, and right now I'm in the process of currently going through a breast reduction for physical reasons and just the parents' reasons for, in my opinion. Um, but I had made a comment like, "Oh yeah, when I get this, breast reduction, I'll be walking around naked." And then Terma was like, "Well, why can't you do that now?" So I was like, "You know what? That's a good question." So, actually speaking to that childhood stuff, when I was younger, my mom was really big. Like before she was pregnant with me, like I've seen pictures of her close to maybe 400 pounds. So she was really big. I wish I could show y'all like a side by side of my mom then and now. And she's lost a whole lot of weight. And I'm proud of her. Even before now, she's lost a lot of weight. But when we were younger, when she got with my stepfather, he was very like on her about losing weight. Now, I don't know if this was something that she wanted to do. I was younger, so I wasn't in those conversations. I don't know if this was something she really wanted to do or if it was like kind of pushed onto her. But being that so, she weighed so much when she was younger. My stepdad made me and my sister like exercise all the time. We were like middle school. We had to literally like ride a bicycle, little exercise bicycle for an hour. Like our bicycle, exercise bicycle that my mom had was in our basement, and me and my sister would just go down there and act like we did it for an hour and come back up. Like it was mandatory. It was like forced upon us. And I believe he did that because my mother was bigger. So I guess he called himself preventing us from becoming overweight. But that's not, being who I am now and knowing now that wasn't the right way to go about it. So I have like a lot of self conscious, like, energy. And it's so funny that I really didn't realize it until like right now when we were talking about it. It kind of like just hit me out of nowhere. But I have a lot of self conscious about that. And y'all follow me on Facebook. So like, I've been really I post, and I post full body pictures. Before, like I can say like a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, I wasn't doing all of that. I was like just very insecure. Maybe like post from the face up. So, that those things that happen as a child, and us being pressured to be a certain size and, I guess not wanting to be, what my mom was or whatever, not us personally, but somebody else. When, in my opinion, why are you even looking at a middle school a child in that way as far as their appearance and their body shape or whatever the case may be? But that's neither here nor there. But and that just caused a lot of self-image, issues for me, and me not feeling comfortable in my own skin. And yeah, I can post pictures, but sometimes, like the other day, like I was in the bathroom, TMI. But I was in the bathroom and I was just like about to get undressed to go, take a shower or whatever. And I just had my bra, my, panties on. I'm like, oh, well, I look good. So it's just like I'm starting to, gain that confidence back into myself, from years of just kind of being like just very subconscious. And then of course, men, looking at other females, comparing myself to other people, comparing myself to other females, and like, oh, I wish I looked like that, and just kind of beating myself up for the size I was. I have lost, a lot of weight since then, but still in the same sense, kind of feeling like, okay, I need to lose more, I need to be somewhere. And other people might look at me like, girl, you're fine. But then I look at myself and I'm like, no, I don't feel that I am. Like I
mhm.
would, I don't know. It's like I was like, how people post pictures of you and you like, ugh. But the pictures you post of you, you'd be like, yes. But other people post pictures of you, you're like, no. Why did you
See, and
post
I'll be
that?
letting see,
So,
you gotta look at you gotta take a second look at somebody who will post a picture of you where you're
yeah,
not at your flyers,
and it's your flyers, right?
But
So
that's a
yeah,
little shade. That is a little
yeah,
shade.
right. So
I would
just having a lot of self-conscious issues about that as a child. So, no, that does definitely, take a toll on you as far as your appearance. So I'm at the process of learning to love myself, flaws and all, rows and all, stretch marks and all. Like, look, 3 kids then came out this body, but it was several years ago. So it still ain't no excuse, but still, you know what I'm saying? I'm a work in progress, so I'm getting better with it, but I'm glad that this conversation came up because honestly, it literally just dawned on me why I have those self-conscious, feelings
mm.
about myself.
well, that's
And
dope. That
I
makes
was
me feel awesome. I feel like that's the point of this. That's why we're doing this podcast. So,
exactly.
so we can all pinpoint these things. A lot of the things we think and feel and our habits, we don't understand why until, conversations are had.
Yeah.
My little spiel on the piggyback on since y'all's conversation, I'm gonna, piggyback on y'all. I different. I've been fat my whole life. All the women in my family been fat. All the men in my family been fat. So I grew up being alright with being fat. Now my mom, because of her childhood traumas, she's very closed in with her body. She doesn't like, you know what I'm saying. I remember one time she almost cursed me out because she was getting dressed and I was in her room, and I wanted, I was like, girl, I came out your twat, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember, but
Right.
technically I know what your insides look like. So, I was just like, you're my mom or whatever. She damn near had a conniption. She was not trying to feel that. Hey, Cynthia, how you
He
doing,
said, yeah.
girl? So yeah, she was not having it. So, we had the conversation and I understand why now. And then I have other aunts who my whole childhood I watched them walk around their houses naked. I got two Pacific aunts. I ain't gonna put they out there, but my cousins, you know what I'm saying, know who I'm talking about. So watching them be comfortable, you know what I'm saying, with their bodies, that's how I am now. I'm only wearing clothes because we on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I'm very free, no matter how big my stomach is, how my rolls look, whatever, my arm, whatever sores and keloids I got going on, I don't really care. It's hot. I feel like I'm from Africa and my titties are supposed to hang. Like those my
Yeah,
aunts
that
how
is
they did it, and that's why. Nah, for real, that's how I feel like sleeping with clothes on. I only do that when I'm outside of my house because it's the only appropriate thing to do. But you know what I'm saying? I don't like sleeping with clothes, but that's honestly because I watch them be comfortable with their bodies. So despite how my mom is, I had a contrast. And then I didn't go through what they went through either. You know what I'm saying? I've never been violated in that life. So I never had to, to feel like I needed to close myself off, to a man. I know how to be appropriate, you know what I'm saying? And men have always been appropriate with me. So I don't have this, thought process that a man is looking at me or he's thinking about me in the, what I'm saying, the wrong light. I'm grown. I know I'm a female. I know I'm attractive. So men don't like me. They gonna imagine all that good stuff. We get that. But because I didn't have those experiences, it's a lot easier, what I'm saying, for me to be free like that, in my house, around my man and my friends. Only my friends get to see my titties. Sorry, fellas. Yeah, we don't share all that. But my friends though, sorry, they got yeah. When you get close to me, I try not to do it, but yeah, that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. But it
I
just
do not be caring. You gonna see my look, okay? Because I came in this world naked, and I'm convinced that in in the ancient times, we clothes was only just clothes was optional. Period. Okay, I could be a whole goddess gypsy with a little bitty string on and a skirt and be comfortable and free.
And
It's
it's
still
hot in Georgia. You know now, Misha.
it's hot, hot.
Like it's hot out
It's
here.
not.
Like I don't.
I'm not wearing clothes.
You know
Basically,
what I'm
is what I'm saying
saying?
because it's
And
too
I don't
hot.
need to look be as small as you. Like I've always felt that way too. Like I'm not about to die. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody to see my rolls. Like I'm really not about to do that. Like I wear shorts. You know what I'm saying? Like now I have a system because I don't just like to expose my body. So like if the girls are kind of sort of out
Balance.
there, but let everything else on my body is covered up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If the girls is up, the hams is out. You get all the leg, you get the tattoo, you get the thigh tattoo, you get all that. You know what I'm saying? When the girls are up, so because I don't need all my
The
body,
balance.
but it's hot out here, man, and I sweat. I got nooks and crannies. I don't know what to tell you, and I'm not gonna make myself uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want, because I'm thinking about what you think. Listen, my man like it.
Mm-hmm. Period. That's all that matters.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? They ain't never stopped no show. Yeah, I have to be comfortable, and that's how I I move, and I just hope that this conversation can. Not saying y'all got to be naked. I ain't trying to tell y'all. I ain't trying to make y'all strip or nothing like that. But be comfortable. Don't
Mm-hmm.
man fuck everybody else. Yeah.
Also, I was gonna say that Quita, you had mentioned looking in the mirror and like how you was gassing yourself up. Mirror work is a tremendous tool that you can, or healing tool that you can do when it comes to building yourself up confidence wise. Affirmations in the mirror, butt naked every morning. I have a full blown party. My shower time in the morning, everybody knows, do not bother me because I'm gassing myself the fuck up right now. Okay, this is my time to shine. Me and this mirror and my boom box, we got a party that we got to. It's the party, right? So I look in the mirror and I'm telling you, I'll be like giving it to myself, like, yeah, girl, because you tried to play yourself, but actually you all that in a bag of chips and some. Like, I be going in on myself, like, because if I don't tell myself, who is, and if I don't believe it, then why would I believe it if somebody else tells me? So, like, that's the thing is, it don't matter what nobody else thinks, like, whether it be positive or negative. The only thing that matters is what you think about yourself, you know? And so even if, like, sexuality. It's okay for guys to have a whole bunch of sexual partners, but it's not okay for women. That's only the reason because you told yourself that that is actually the case because society said that. But is
Right.
that a reality? Is that actually fair to say that, well, males can have a bunch of sexual partners and women can't? You know, like even in that regards, it's like, who determines what sex gets to have an overactive sex drive and which one doesn't? Like, we have to be tamed and controlled our sexual energy, but men get to be wild and free.
Right.
Like, that's not how I care to resonate with this realm because, the amount of sexual trauma that I had, like 7+ years of sexual trauma buildup, that energy had to go somewhere. That pain had to go somewhere. And when I transmuted it, it just so happened to become a whole bunch of sexual, passionate energy. So me and the Oshun energy, we be walking around just like throwing it on people like love and energy. And it just, a lot of times that just makes them so happen feel good and chakra energies that just so happen to be the root chakra because everybody is so sex based and sex oriented. But I'm not gonna feel bad because a lot of men lust after me. Like, because first off, I'm not telling them to do it. It's not like I'm putting myself out there for them to do it. That's just the energy that I possess. So learning to be comfortable with your sexual energy in your body, and especially as a divine feminine, because we are life bringers, so the energy that we possess is magical on another level that we still, I don't feel, fully overstand our power as women, and when it comes to the sexual energy and the possibilities of things that we can create with our sexual energy on top of life. And so releasing that stigma and that the pressure that we have to act a certain way with our sexual energy because we are women is important because that's just the box,
Mhm.
and it's a form of suppression. And At the end of the day, your sexual energy, no matter what gender you are, should always be protective and choosy with who you give your sexual energy to. Peace, Felicia. Thank you. But you should always be very picky with who you give it to. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. So, if as long as your intentions and your actions are pure when it comes to who you're being sexual with, and you know the person, it doesn't matter how many times you're sexual in your lifetime. Basically, it doesn't matter how many partners you have, as long as you are comfortable with yourself and the things you're doing, and it's not a thing of you're being careless with it. You're not just swapping traumas and toxic energy with people. You're not just getting pregnant over and over and over again, and then
Mhm.
not wanting to keep the child. It's all about responsibility. And there's a lot of recklessness these days with sexual energy because it's everywhere. So there's no sacredness to it anymore. And the magic behind it, the power behind it has been downplayed. Like they really are downplaying sex. Because sex, even like the word, I don't feel like sex is the right word for that intimacy time, that connection that you make when you are connecting spirits with another being, and creating whatever
Mhm.
you're creating, whether you're creating more toxic energy, a child, wealth, whatever you're creating. Um, I feel like it's just really important right now not to allow the outside world to influence who we are as sexual beings. Because then that's when you'll think it's okay to be just sleeping around with people, and hot girl in it, and having fun boy summers and all this stuff. Like,
This summer is that's it.
exactly, exactly. So,
I feel like balancement is the key. I don't care what we're talking about. It's about balancement. And I feel like because everything is so hyperly sexual and things of that nature, I feel like we have to educate ourselves.
mm-hmm,
Because I agree with what you're saying. I just feel like there's not enough people like you who understand the balance of that. So
mm-hmm,
when you say be free with your sexuality, they translate that as act the fool. They don't
right,
they don't see that as okay, let me be comfortable when I'm in that situation. Because like for me, just looking at me, I'm not a very highly sexual person. Not, from the outside. Now when I'm with my man, that's a whole different situation. But just off the rip, I don't give off a sexual energy. But I'm a very sexual person. So
mm-hmm,
it's about balancing that out. I am very comfortable in my body. I'm very comfortable with what I do, but that's sacred to me, and I can only give that to somebody that I feel worthy of it. Especially
mm-hmm,
now, when I was younger, I was kind of chasing, trying to be loved and to be desired. Now
mm-hmm,
that I know who I am, I know how precious this is.
mm-hmm.
So you got to be the right one, and then we can go. Then we can go ham, turkey, and vegetables. Then you know what I'm saying. Then we can, all that good stuff. But you got to be the right person because I am swapping energy with you.
Right,
You know what I mean? We can have a baby.
right.
You see what I'm saying? So I feel like balancement of that. As long as you got balance, you're gonna be good, and you can do what you want. Because no
Yeah.
one should govern. No one should be able. You shouldn't be governed. You shouldn't have to be governed, especially if you're an adult. You should not have to be governed in that way.
Mm-mm.
You should be able to have discernment, to be responsible, and has nothing to do with how you feel about shit. Responsible is responsible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's a universal responsibility in certain situations.
Mm-mm. And sex is
You
one of the
choose to
utmost
absolutely. That's super important.
sacred, and
It
just,
is.
yeah, you should
And we
not
need to
just be
respect
humping
it
on
more.
people. You really
Not
shouldn't,
respect absolutely.
like I let people know real fast. I feel like you just gonna lay on top of me and drain me, and I it's a full moon, and I don't have time for it. I'm trying to create. I'll lay in bed by myself,
Yep.
like with my
Eight days.
yeah, and take care of myself and my energy and manifest what I want to by myself with no one intruding on my energy. Like, because one of my friends, she had a guy come down, and they end up being intimate, and she said, and he came during a full moon. This was during my grand opening. He came during the full moon. And afterwards, after he left, she said they were being intimate, and like she could feel him blocking her manifesting and like using her energy for his manifestation. And I was like, oh, like
And
I paused, like, cause not you saying F what my energy's trying to do there in this intimate connection. I need your energy for me. Like you talking about you just an energy vampire, like
I
so
know.
you gotta be mindful because people also some people do understand the power behind sex,
Yes, they
and
do.
so when people laying down with you, you have to be mindful. Some people could just be energy sourcing, just energy draining and, using your vessel for what they have going on, not caring about you at all. And that tends to be the case when you have a lot of these men who care about being pleased but don't please the woman, you know? Like that's where you get those relationships where it's like, man, I still feel unsatisfied. I still feel like I need to release this sexual energy, and it's because you've laid down with a taker who wasn't a giver as well,
Mhm.
and so those actions in itself can have repercussions on your body, like back pain and buildup that can form from just the woman not releasing that energy that's in her root chakra and in her lower chakra system. So it's like being able to release that energy as a woman. Orgasms is very important. They're very important, and not
And
being able to
90%
orgasm.
of us don't have them.
And so then that's where another thing you have to go back to the why is it that I'm okay being with somebody who is okay not satisfying me? You know, do I really deserve to not have my needs met every night? Like, because I'm worthy of that. I'm worthy of having an orgasm just like I'm giving you an orgasm. And so for the women who settle for that, it's like you have to go in and find your self worth because you're worthy of having your energy reciprocated, you know?
Or or no, I'm not gonna say it.
Nah, see, you
I'm
can't be
thinking
doing
all
that.
this.
You can't
Or
interact.
No,
yeah, as a
no.
Hey,
process of
that's
it, when
right.
he's about to come, you can just be like, "Oh, hold on, I gotta go pee."
That's me. I wouldn't suggest that. Depends on who
No,
he is.
I'm just
I would
playing.
suggest
I'm
that.
playing devil's advocate, but I mean, hey,
Yeah.
It's the energy
do
you
it a
put.
couple
Like
of times, and I'll probably get the picture.
you gotta manifest that. When you have that worthiness of yourself, and I can speak from experience. That's the word I
Mhm.
was looking for. Could not find that word for 10 seconds. Anywho, like I always thought, I grew up feeling like I was supposed to please my man. I done revealed some other extraness last time. Y'all just gotta watch part one for that. But I grew up feeling like I was supposed to just do all of the pleasing. And at the beginning of my beginning relationships, that's how that was. I mean, it was an exchange, but I would make sure that I do everything I possibly could, orally, all of that jazz, and I wasn't getting all of that back in return until what I'm saying. It's almost like I changed my energy. I wasn't even really looking for a man. I was looking just for my purpose, and I just wanted positive people in my life. I wanted authentic relationships, and that's what I asked the universe for. And my king was one of those people, and he's a giver. You see what I'm saying? So for him, me getting off is what gets him off.
Mhm.
That's how he moves. So there is no time that I'm not being pleased because he not getting nothing out of it if I'm not. That's just how that is, and it's been that way for over a decade.
Mhm.
So that makes me want to, of course, be an extra giver. You know what I'm saying? And it almost makes the giving more, make me want to give.
Pleasurable.
Yeah, because now I'm getting it back. Like I tell people all the time, the best sex you can ever have is two people trying to fuck the shit out of each other. That is the best. I don't care how y'all doing it, but that is the best sex you can ever have when y'all are both trying to get at each other. Like, nah, I'm gonna get you. Nah, I'm gonna get you. Like
Yeah, I
ecstasy. You
agree.
know what I'm saying? You
I
know what I mean? Like orgasms galore when you putting out that energy. And
agree.
that's another thing, like you were saying earlier about how holding things in space. You know what I mean? You giving energy, like you're putting that, depositing that on people when you know what I'm saying, when you're doing that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like you got to be mindful about what you're taking in, what you're giving out. Like that shit is serious. You know what I mean? You can be stifling yourself from so much, and then you bring that into other situations. And energy is what starts diseases. That's another thing people don't understand. Y'all think it's just some random. Nah. When your body is in a state of dis-ease, that's what disease means.
Disease.
Dis-ease. So
Mm.
your energy is a breeding ground for either health or disease. So when you're holding that stuff in, that's where cancer comes from. That's when them cells,
Ovarian cyst and
yeah, start,
endometriosis.
yeah, fibroids
Mm-hmm.
and growths and all of that stuff and all these disorders. That stuff is coming from all of that pent up energy and
Mm-hmm.
whatever you got going on and you're not releasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, and we need to really start correlating, our health and what happens to us, you know what I'm saying, with those things. Everything is connected. Sex is not just something that you do to get your dopamine popping.
Right. Which is what most of the world uses
For
sex
that's
for.
not what that's it's really not what that's for. So
Mm.
once you understand that, you understand how you change your life.
That's what breathing is for, and meditating, yoga, the
Yeah,
gym, music.
absolutely. Yeah,
You
that,
know, you can do, there's so many forms to release stress. Okay. So while sex can be one of the easiest and fastest ways to release stress, there's more beneficial ways that don't have such a toxic attachment if you lay down with the wrong person. Like,
yeah,
because you can add a whole dilemma to your journey just because you didn't lay down with the wrong person and let somebody
yeah,
get exposed to your magic, and now they hook like a crackhead, and you don't want nothing to do with them. You was just trying to get the energy going, like you just wanted to feel better. But now you got crazy Becky over here banging in your car and smashing your
that's
windows
bad.
out,
That's bad.
having to
That's
call the police
bad.
on them. Like that's
That's
and all
bad.
because you just want to lay down and get some real quick.
That's
It's
that's
not worth it when you could have just went to your bedroom and just had a breathing session. Could just put on some meditation music and release that way. But now
word.
you got a whole situation. You done got somebody pregnant. You didn't mean to get pregnant. Now you're dealing with a whole toxic baby mama, baby daddy, and there's some
The
serious
cycle continues.
repercussions. Yeah, there's some things that can go down simply from being irresponsible with our sexual energy. And people don't think about this. These men, when they lay down with these women, oh, she tried me. She got me or I got she tricked me into getting her pregnant. Wooty woo woo. You shouldn't have been laying down with her. It's the whole bigger picture. If you knew that you weren't willing to get this woman pregnant,
That's
but you
both. That's
you
both
still
ways.
laid down with her, even if you had the condom or not. You're laying down with her, being intimate with somebody that you have nothing for outside of this one encounter. Like,
I can't sleep with nobody that I can see myself having a baby by. It's that simple. If mistakes, things happen. It's not always just overly being irresponsible.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes there you have faulty condoms. It
I
happens.
mean, I got pregnant my first time having sex. It wasn't a faulty condom. There was no condom. But
I can dig it, but I'm just saying I can dig it. You know what I'm saying? Keep it in a buck. But I mean, there are situations. It's not always just about being irresponsible.
right.
Things tend to happen, so you need to be aware of that. So since you don't, the only thing that's 100% is abstinence. So if you know that there's a percentage, you know what I'm saying? No matter how big or small, for you to bring life into this world, you need to check that person need to check all them boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you got kids and you ain't taking care of the ones you got, I can't sleep with you. Cause if you get me pregnant, clearly you ain't gonna take care of the one I got. You
Right.
take
That
care of the
part.
ones you got.
That part.
Why would I put myself in that position? I
I
can't even
wouldn't
be
even
mad
want to
at
be
you.
around nobody who ain't taking care of their
Again,
kids. Me
never.
as a mother,
Time
I
happens all
cannot, I
the
cannot
time.
conversate. I'm not holding a conversation with you if I know you do not take care of your kids. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it
Happens
stops
all the
there.
time. How you think these dudes be coming out with 11 chillings? And tend to, yeah, they be doing that down south. I can't speak. I'm from New York. I have yet met anybody up there that be reckless like that. But they be doing it down here. I'm sorry, dirty, but niggas be laying a pipe and skeeting. All. I know people. I know men who they. What was that rapper that almost had a reality TV show because he had 10 kids, but he died? Some southern rapper. They was about to have some type of reality TV show about him. He had like 10 kids.
Dang.
Oh, what's that? He made a song. They know, boy, you a fool. Cause
Shorty
they
Low,
know. What's his
Shorty
name?
Low.
Yeah, yeah, him. Yeah, him. I think he died
I
though.
did remember him
R.I.P. to
having a
him.
whole bunch of kids.
He had a
Yeah,
whole bunch of kids. He was supposed to have a reality TV show before he died. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't Future got like a million kids?
about 10. What?
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they out here.
And we're not saying not to have a bunch of children, because in reality, that's one of the things we're supposed to do is have a bunch of children. Like that's as a being, that's one of our main assignments on this planet. I don't care what this society and government says. Reproduction and recreating, procreating is natural for us, and we're supposed to do that and do it often. But it's with
You gotta do it
the
responsibly.
right person and
I mean, you can't be
responsibility.
out here
Yeah,
having 10 different baby mamas or different baby
and
daddies.
none of
Like
them
you
get
creating
along,
broken
and
homes.
every birthday, all the baby mamas is arguing and fighting. Every Christmas, they want to have beef with each other. Nah, that's
Then
too
you
much.
got sisters and brothers in all these different households. You got to go. Like I could not imagine. I mean, I think my whole plan as a baby mama. Well, I don't consider myself a baby, but a mother of of children, was to have children with one man and to get married. That was my goal with my kid's father. But the universe saw something different. We were not equally yoked. He went his way. I went my way. Now, if I was to have kids again, if I did, it would be with somebody that I was married to. But I don't foresee that ever happening. I think I'm pretty much done at this point. But I wanted to have kids with one man and be married. That was because I did not want to be another statistic. I like my mom. I'm not saying anything negative about any women or men who have multiple baby mamas or baby daddies. I mean, it is what it is, but why make life harder for yourself? Like me, my
Right.
brother, and my sister, we all had different fathers,
Me and my
and
siblings
I did,
too.
right, and I did not want to be that. I didn't want to reproduce that. Like, I didn't want to do that, again.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to stop with me. I wanted all my kids to have the same father, and they do. So I could not imagine having to deal with multiple men with my kids. Like, I don't know how some people do it. And then let alone 10, 11. Like, what? Like, and I don't understand where it comes from. Now, one guy I know, it was a guy that I talked to. We're cool or whatever, and he told me that he had, like, I think about 11 kids. And I'm like, okay, but he was like, I take care of all of them. I'm in all their lives, whatever. And kudos to him. But
Mm-hmm.
he kind of got to the root of why he has so many kids. He said that he was with, I guess, his first baby mom, and he went off, I think, to the military or whatever, and he was serving. And in that process, his baby mom had dealt with his brother and had a child, and then got married. So that, like, scarred him and fucked him up, and he just went on the rage and started having just had multiple kids. And that again, that's trauma
Mama.
that's causing these, it's
Creating
like
these babies and
domino
shit.
effects, and
Mm-hmm.
it's creating all these babies because of this trauma, because he didn't know how to deal with that at that time. So his only way of dealing with it is to go out and get a whole bunch of females pregnant. And so, you know it's just crazy. It's just, sex is big, and people need to, like you said, be more responsible with it.
Now I got a question, you know what I'm saying, to wrap it up. I want y'all thoughts on this. So Nick Cannon. Nick
Don't
Cannon,
even know.
every time you see that man, he got a new child. He, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, from what I've been hearing, he has some type of disorder, some type of autoimmune disease of some sort. So his purpose, honestly, for doing this is to make as many children as he can to try to find a cure so he can save his life. Okay. Now, I can dig it.
Right.
Now, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm asking y'all's opinion. You know what I'm saying? So now Nick Cannon has money. Nick Cannon is not, some hood booger nigga, you know what I'm saying, in the cut, just getting, he has it seems like he has a plan. He got the resources and the finances to fund it and get it done, and for them to have good lives and all that. You know what I'm saying? But when you have multiple children, and especially the type of work he does, there's no way he is spending quality time with
Or
every
and I was gonna say, and his intentions behind his reasoning for bringing these
It's
children to the
selfish.
world isn't out of love; it's for
It's
him.
selfish.
Yeah, exactly. So then there's like that's gonna be trauma for those children when they
Yeah, it's
realize,
selfish.
my dad only had me hope, and especially if they can't help him. So now they're just
Right.
another bill,
They don't feel like
you
they're
know.
useless or they have no purpose and like what did you like it's just stupid. And then the women that knows that this man is out here having multiple kids and they decide to still lay down with him, they got rocks for brains. I don't care if I know you got multiple baby mamas, you got all these kids, and yeah, I don't care how much money you got. Like, I'm not about to be the 13, 14, 15 baby mama. Like, it ain't that serious to
I
me.
mean, it depends on perspective now, because in reality, like if I was a well-off woman who was successful in my career and I didn't want to get married, and a man came to me and said, "Hey, I want to have a child. This is what I personally, my intentions behind it. I'll take care of my child, but I just need to try to save my life, and I already want a child." I don't have an emotional attachment to you. Like, give me my child, and hopefully the baby helps you. If the baby doesn't, that's okay. Just hold your end of the bargain with helping me with resources for the baby, and I'll take care of the love in the baby. I don't, if you want to be a masculine influence in the child's life, that's fine. If not, the child will have that when it needs it, But I'm not gonna say no to a multi-million-dollar man being my baby daddy if it's all with understanding. I'd rather him than a broke one,
Mm.
like
True.
in reality
Look,
we
Never
can
gotta
break it
get.
up
I'm
in the
asking.
bed,
I just
right?
gotta hear that. I can dig it. I mean,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
I,
guess
I
you could
don't
say
think
that.
there's anything wrong with what Nick is doing. It's all about perspective, right? So yeah, it could be seen as selfish, which is my initial reaction to it. But in reality, as long as he's being transparent about what he needs and his intentions, and
And
he's
the
actually
females
holding his
agree.
end of the bargain, yeah, and the women,
You
they're
can't get
fine, the
mad at
babies
it.
are
You
fine.
can't.
yeah,
Me
the baby.
personally, I just wouldn't do it. Just me personally. But if they have an agreement and they have an understanding and
I'm sure
it
they do.
is what it is,
Yeah,
For
and they
argument's sake,
do
they
because
have
it
an
seems like they
understanding.
all
They
get
know what this is
along.
about. Them girls know what this is about, honey. Let me tell
Yeah,
you,
they know
they
what it's
know what this
about.
is about.
yeah.
So
And
they
They
so
sure
signing
as
up for
do.
women,
that. They signing
they
up for that
thinking,
candy money. They signing up for that, for that
Honey,
candy money.
it's funny. It's crazy the things that money, like
now,
people
see,
do.
I'm not gonna bring a child into the world solely so I can have a child with a wealthy baby daddy, like, because yeah, then that's the selfish. That's still traumas that child, because at the end of the day, it's not about the child. I'm talking on the aspect of if I was in a
Right,
place in my life where I did want a child, and the only
right.
reason I didn't was because of the lack of the relationship that I had with someone, and because I am, wanting
Or
to
your
be
clock is ticking. A lot of females get up there in age and they still
right,
want the next
exactly.
person,
Then
and
that
I
doesn't seem
understand
like.
that. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm okay. I'll
Okay.
pass.
Well, I thought that was an appropriate question for the topic because, he is out here having multiple children. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's about
Oh,
perspective. Like you said, for him and clearly for the mothers, this is a win win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get to have a child with, a multimillionaire, you know what I'm saying, who's attached to Mariah Carey. I know my baby's going to be taken care of. I'm going to be taken care of because I'm sure those women don't work. They get a check. You know what I'm saying?
They're
So they
taking
don't have
care
to
of their
work.
children,
And they're
hopefully.
taking care of their children. Well, they better. I'm sure there's stipulations
I
with
only
that.
said hopefully because I do not follow that. I don't know anything about it.
I'm
So,
a, I'm a think on a logical standpoint.
mhm.
If this man is a whole agenda is for these children to help him live,
Mhm.
he needs his children to be top notch.
Right, and he's not
So
gonna
I'm
be laying down
paying you to make
right.
sure that my baby is on up to par. You ain't got to pay for nothing. You just got to do the footwork in that life, and that's what you're. I'm sure there are contracts being signed. I'm sure all of that is being done because there's a lot of those women, and you know how chicks do. As soon as they have your baby, they think they can take half and shit. So I'm sure he has all of that. They can't say nothing, disclosures. I'm sure all of that is a part of that situation. We're speculating.
Yeah.
We won't know for sure until that surgery happens.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And he's cured of his shit. I promise you that's the only way we're gonna find out about that. Other than that, it's just gonna be him on his little talk show talk about how he love all his babies. It's another one coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some beautiful model.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, you know they all beautiful. They all look like models.
And
They all
if you know you having children, of course you're gonna want to pick the best genetic pool. You
absolutely.
know,
Oh
dude.
yeah, he is.
Latinas, mixed, Spanish, all type
All
of
that, all
different
that, and
stuff.
that's a whole. Now see, now that's a whole nother show. Talking. No, seriously about why we pick the type of people that we find attractive, especially in our community, because a lot of us pick men and women based off of the way they look, thinking as a lot of ignorance. I want to date a light skin or a Spanish guy, so
Oh no, and
he
that's all
can have
forms of
nice
self hate.
hair.
You're right. No,
Yeah,
you're absolutely
stuff
correct.
like
There's
that.
some people who will not breed and enter with their same race. A lot of brothers and women out here who pride
Absolutely.
themselves on having light skinned mixed children because they don't look like a black person. Or have all of the melanin features. So that form of self hate is definitely a whole nother conversation because at the end of the day, you're playing yourself, not wanting pure melanin in your life. So you don't do that. Don't why are you
Don't
your
do
brother?
that.
Your
He said,
brother
"Don't
is
do
better.
Right.
You
Why?
know?
Yes, Auntie Misha, don't do that.
Especially,
I know that's right. All right, ladies, we're gonna let them go on and enjoy the rest of their Tuesday. You know how this works, Takita. You on the spot first. I'm just gonna go ahead and just pick you tonight. It's on you, boo. Tell them where you at, girl. How to find you.
my name is Taquita, as y'all can see. Scorpio Sun Tarot is my YouTube channel over at YouTube, of course. I do tarot readings there. Tarot readings based off love, career, finances, spiritual messages. I do it all. I also have a Facebook group, a private group called Scorpio Sun. If you want to follow me over there, I do go live from time to time there and answer free questions. You can also contact me there. My phone number's there. And I have my email, scorpio2sun2 at gmail.com if you're interested in a private reading. And also, you can find me here on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. every week. Yep, every week. I was going to say every night, y'all. Every week
Soon come,
for,
soon.
for the podcast. So that's how y'all can find me.
All right, Mish. Let me get your bam, bam. Here we go. Talk
Peace,
to them.
peace. All right. So, Misha's Healing Love is the name of my business. And basically, you guys can find me here Tuesdays at 8 along with my sisters. And then you can also find me on Facebook at Misha's Love Tribe. You can find me on Instagram at Queen Misha Mouse or at Misha's Healing. And then on YouTube at Misha's Healing Love. TikTok at Celestial Reiki 33. My email is mishashealinglove.com. And I do Reiki work and energy healing as well as spiritual counseling. And so, if you have been in a low vibrational state, you have any traumatic experiences or grieving or just obstacles that you need to remove from your energy field so that you can be your freer and more aligned self, then that's where I come in. So, feel free to call me, reach out to me, message me, email me, and let me assist you with getting realigned and back on track with your path.
All right, all right. Well, like the lady said, you can find all of this healing on Amspire Media Network on your Roku. Get you a Roku TV, get you a Roku Fire Stick. Cheapest one I saw is $24.99. Walmart gonna give me some dividends for pushing they store and whatnot. So yeah, go to Walmart, get you a Roku so you can get all this inspiration. Like they said on Tuesdays at 8 p.m., us and the goddesses, tackling these childhood traumas. So make sure you always tap in. Sundays we hook up with spirit. You know what I'm saying? You see, I have a whole arsenal of intuitive, spiritual women around me, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? So holler at 33 Master Teacher Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Nobody do tarot like we do tarot. Okay, we got a little spin on that, so make sure that you tap in. All right, we absolutely do inspire interviews. I interview all of the most amazing people. I meet the most awesome people. And this week, this Friday, we have Carl Myers. If you are in the Macon area, you should know who this brother is. He is the host of the podcast Do It for the Culture. Okay, this brother is trying to do everything in his power, to help our community. So definitely tap in so you can see what he's about and see what he has to offer the community. All right. What else we got? Yeah, me. When I talk my shit, all these truths, all these simple truths, all these uncomfortable truths. Make sure you tap in. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your ears to it. I just kind of pop up on y'all. When I hear something or feel something, I just pop up on you. So make sure you tune in to Tell True Vision Social Media Live. That's all we got. Love, love, love y'all. And we're going to see y'all next Tuesday. Keep healing, okay? Keep healing. Love, love, love y'all.
Peace.
Bye.